20 players with the most points in NBA history. Different times, different profiles. However, all with one point in common: their ease of scoring. We review the 20 top scorers in the history of the NBA, the best basketball competition in the world. A ranking full of legends. 1. LeBron James. 40,000 points. The Los Angeles Lakers star, once surpassing Kareem's all-time record, has reached 40,000 points. There are now 21 seasons in the NBA, divided between the Cleveland Cavaliers, Miami Heat and Los Angeles Lakers. 2. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. 38,387 points. The top scorer in the history of the competition. In his 2 decades in the NBA, Kareem scored 38,387 points in his 1,560 games played with the Bucks and Lakers. He scored 15,837 field goals, a single triple and 6,712 free throws. 3. Karl Malone. 36,928 points. Another of the 3 players who lead this ranking and exceeded 13,000 shots scored in the competition. Between 1895 and 2003, Malone led the Utah Jazz attack. He was also the player with the most free throws, scored 9,787 free throws. Quite a legend. 4. Kobe Bryant. 33,643 points. Along with Nowitzki, the only one in the top 10 who spent his entire career in a single franchise. Kobe Bryant competed between 1996 and 2016 for the Lakers, averaging 25 points per season. 5. Michael Jordan. 32,292 points. The greatest of all time. Michael Jordan, in his 16 years in the competition, averaged more than 30 points per game. A true atrocity, yes, achieved with the colors of the Chicago Bulls and Washington Wizards. 6. Dirk Nowitzki. 31,560 points. History of European basketball. The German played 2 decades of the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks, surpassing 1,500 games played and 11,000 shots scored. 7. Wilt Chamberlain. 31,419 points. What would have become of Wilt Chamberlain with a little more longevity? With just 1,045 games played, the Giant was among the highest scorers in history. He averaged 30.1 points per game and added 12,681 shots scored. Unrepeatable. 8. Shaquille O'Neal. 28,596 points. Another of the greatest, in the literal sense. Shaq went through the Magic, Lakers, Heat, Suns, Cavs and Celtics, ending his career with an average of 23.7 points per game. Like Kareem, a single triple. 9. Kevin Durant. 28,318 points*. With 1,037 games played and still active, Kevin Durant continues to climb this table of historical players. And the Suns player, who previously played for the Nets, Oklahoma and Warriors, is averaging 28 points per game. Enough to reach much higher if the body can endure it. 10. Carmelo Anthony. 28,289 points*. One of the few active players, although for now without a team in the 22-23 season. Carmelo Anthony has played for the Denver Nuggets, New York Knicks, Oklahoma City Thunder, Houston Rockets, Portland Trail Blazers and Los Angeles Lakers. The outsider, at this point in his career, adds 22.5 points per crash. 11. Moses Malone. 27,409 points. The other Malone on the list. In this case, Moses competed for the Buffalo Braves, Houston Rockets, Philadelphia 76ers, Washington Bullets, Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks and San Antonio Sports. A good tour of the United States. He scored 20.6 points per game, making more than 1,300 appearances. 12. Elvin Hayes. 27,313 points. One of the oldest on this list. Hayes wore the colors of San Diego Houston Rockets and Baltimore Capitals Washington Bullets. During the 70s and 80s, he scored 21 points per game. 13. Hakeem Olajuwon. 26,946 points. Talking about the Houston Rockets is talking about Hakeem. The NBA legend hit the mark 10,479 times, adding the total of 26,946 points. 21.8 points per game. 14. Oscar Robertson 26,710 points. Legend of the Cincinnati Royals and Milwaukee Bucks. Robertson averaged 25.7 points per night, but his 1,040 games prevented him from climbing any higher on this list. Robertson scored 9,508 shots between 1960 and 1974. 15. Dominique Wilkins 26,668 points. One of the kings of the air, he was also the king of scoring. Wilkins played for the Atlanta Hawks, Los Angeles Clippers, Boston Celtics, San Antonio Spurs and Orlando Magic, scoring close to 25 points on average. 16. Tim Duncan 26,496 points. 19 years in the NBA, all of them in San Antonio. Almost 1,400 games played, 10,285 shots scored and 19 points on average. The main culprit, along with Popovich, of the Spurs to golden decades. 17. Paul Pierce 26,397 points. His name will always be linked to the Celtics' 2008 title, the one that ended the green drought. Pierce competed with the Celtics, Nets, Wizards and Clippers, finally hanging up his boots in 2017. An average of 19.7 points and 1,343 games played guaranteed a great NBA career. 18. John Havlicek 26,395 points. Green was his color, he wore no other. Havlicek spent between 1962 and 1978 with the Boston Celtics, entering the top 20 all-time in scoring. Almost 21 points on average per match and 1,270 matches played. 19. Kevin Garnett 26,071 points. From being born sportingly in the Timberwolves to reversing the dramatic situation that the Celtics were going through, Garnett made history in Boston, although his entire career was at a high level. 1,462 games played, 10,505 shots scored and 17.8 points on average. 20. Vince Carter 25,728 points. Air Canada was quite a globe-trotter within the NBA panorama. Raptors, Nets, Magic, Suns, Mavericks, Grizzlies, Kings and Hawks. Almost nothing for one of the best matadors and scorers ever, exceeding 25,000 points. Carter reached 1,541 games, quite a feat, averaging 16.7 points. 7 active players with the most scoring in the NBA. Among the 20 highest scoring players in NBA history, only 3 are active today. However, several more candidates are lurking with sneaking into the competition's ranking. We review the names. 1. LeBron James 39,140 points. If the player's expectations are met and his injuries are respected, LeBron James will sooner rather than later be the first player in history to reach 39,000 points. 2. Kevin Durant 27,450 points. Of all the names mentioned in this text, only Chamberlain and Jordan achieved a higher point average at the end of their careers. Injuries and his longevity in competition will mark KD's ceiling. 3. James Harden 24,913 points. Since his start in 2009, Harden has played for the Thunder, Rockets, Nets, 76ers and Clippers, 5 teams in which he has played 1,007 games. 4. Russell Westbrook 24,685 points. The Los Angeles Clippers player has previously competed for the Thunder, Rockets, Wizards and Lakers, playing 1,106 games and scoring an average of 22.6 points per game. 5. Stephen Curry 22,235 points. The top triple jumper in history could not go unnoticed in this ranking. Curry continues to rise on this list, scoring 24.4 points per game. Where will it end? We don't know, although it seems clear that he is destined to do it with the Golden State Warriors. 6. DeMar DeRozan 22,093 points. Historic in the Raptors, he left his mark in the Spurs and now competes in the Bulls. DeRozan is averaging 20.9 points per game and, like good wine, seems to be experiencing the second youth at 34 years old. 7. Chris Paul 21,916 points. Currently, Paul is in 38th position in the ranking of top scorers. Between the Hornets, Clippers, Rockets, Thunder and Suns, the point guard has played 1,166 games with an average of 18 points per game.